At this point, we're going to go away from the order of the SEO checklist just a little bit so that we can talk about local optimization. Local search engine optimization is a method that you use to show up in the top of Google for local searches. So for example, if somebody types in Seekonk, Massachusetts real estate, there might be a map at the top of Google with a listing of local realtors. Now, I know in real estate, Google doesn't usually offer a top 10, but they probably do for things like flowers or dry cleaners and things like that. Let me show you what that looks like real quick. I'm just going to open up another window, and I'm going to say Seekonk flowers. And this right here is a Google local results page. Just this map, it shows where 3 different flower shops are. And there could be 3 here, there could be up to 10 listed there. Usually there's something like 7 or 8. And it'll have the actual address and phone number of those businesses, which is great. It takes out the whole click to the website, spend time on the website, find the phone number, place the phone call. It takes all that out of the transaction and really compresses it to search in Google, call the business. And you want that if you can get it. Now for real estate, as I will demonstrate here, since our keyword is Seekonk MA real estate, you notice there is no Google local listing, and that's very common for real estate. That Google does not provide those local listings simply because there are so many competitors for those listings. At least I think that's why. I'm not really sure why they don't. But we want to go ahead and set up our site for it so that if in the future they do start offering it for real estate, we've got it. And so what I'm going to do, and I'm back to the SEO checklist, I'm going to scroll down, and we need to build some things into our website that take care of the geographic calls that Google might make to the site. And I'm going to go down here to the geographic tab of the SEO checklist. You'll notice I already have the HCard module enabled. The HCard module puts what's called a micro-formatted form of my address, and then also this next thing down, you see that meta tags module actually has some geo tags. So I'm going to go over to the I'm going to click Enable, which is going to take me to my modules screen. I'm going to scroll down to the meta tags, and now we're going to check that box that we didn't check before. It's the extra meta tags. And what that's going to do is going to give us about a half a dozen more meta tags that we can now control using Drupal. So I'm going to jump back to the meta tags page. I'm going to go to the defaults and the front page. And you'll notice now that I have quite a few additional things like the Dublin and then the location coordinates, which are latitude and longitude. And right now I'm going to go ahead and enter the latitude and longitude for Seekonk, which you probably are thinking to yourself, how do I find the latitude and longitude of my address? So go to Google and search what are my coordinates. And the very first thing that pops up is this site called Lat Long Finder. Click on that. You can put in your address, and for this demonstration I'm going to put in the address of Town Hall for Seekonk MA 02771. We're going to search for that, and it's going to give me a latitude and longitude. Now I'm creating this website for a fictional business, so we're going to go ahead and use the Town Hall latitude and longitude here. So we're going to take these numbers, paste them in, and if you have a negative, which if you're in North America you're going to have a negative, make sure you get the negative as well. And you put those in, and then I'm just going to look back through. I think we've got all of our tags set properly, and I'm going to save that. Now what those coordinates do is it tells Google, here's the exact location on the map where my business is located. And of course this doesn't apply if you're a national company selling products all over the United States or all over the world. This is not going to really apply to you. But if you're working on a campaign for a local retail shop, this is incredibly important. So I've set my meta tags, and I can actually set a different longitude and latitude meta tag for every node on my site. I would only want to do that if I had multiple locations for my business, and I would maybe create a page for each location and set a different longitude and latitude. If you don't set it one time, this is one of those things that Google looks for, and if they feel like you're trying to spam the index and say, hey, I've got businesses all over and you've really only got one location, they will drop you from the search index. So if you've only got one location, just put the one location in and leave it. Don't worry about it. So we've clicked save, and now we've also turned on the HCard module. So we want to go set the settings for the HCard module as well. So here we are in the HCard module, and it's going to ask me for a bunch of information. So I'm going to put in all the information that it asked me for. The more completely I fill this out, the more information is going to be shared with other websites. So my tagline here and my tagline keywords, and it's going to ask me to separate those by commas, so I'm going to take out the comma in my keyword, and then I'm going to put in my street address, which again, I'm just for this purpose I'm using the street address of the Seekonk City Hall, and the country name, and again longitude and latitude. Notice that it's asking it in a different order than the meta tags module, so make sure you get those right. Phone numbers, and we also have that. This is the information line for the city of Seekonk, and business categories, real estate. Okay, save my configuration. So now that we have all of the information filled out in the HCard, it's created a block for us. And as you know, to configure a block, you're going to go to Site Building, Blocks, and down here at the bottom you'll find an HCard block, and you just want to tell it where you want that block to show up on your site. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to go ahead and just put it in the footer and click Save. And now when I go to the front page of my site and go down to the bottom, there's my HCard. Now notice, okay, it put my name, and everything in here links, as you see, to the front page of my site, including my keywords, my name, the name of my business, and it included my slogan in here. Do I really want my slogan? You know, you make that decision. If you've got keywords in your slogan, probably it's a good idea to have it on there. If not, it's up to you. It's probably not going to hurt you as far as the search engines are concerned, but it's not helping you either. Certainly this link here, that's a good thing, especially since I've put this in the footer, and that link's going to show up all across my site. Occasionally we get the question, well, if this is in the footer of my site and it's all over my site, isn't that going to cause duplicate content penalties? No, not at all, because this is a tiny little piece of text, and it's added to a constantly changing content that's showing up in the different places on your site. So that little piece of text, even though that's the same, it's not going to affect duplicate content at all. But just make sure that you have all the information there that you think that you need. Now, the thing to pay attention to is, what did this actually do? It didn't just give me a nicely formatted address and name of my business at the bottom of my site. Let's take a look at the code. We're going to scroll down to the bottom. In my HTML, what it actually gave me is this block right here. This div ID equals HCard, class equals VCard, and all the stuff, all the information I entered. This is a particularly formatted group of data that can be picked up by search engines, and even now they're starting to come out with some utilities that you can, like a plug-in for Firefox, that if a site has an HCard installed, then you'll get a little button that when you click it will save that site's information to your address book, which is really handy. But for our purposes, we're doing this for Google and the other search engines to make sure that they know exactly where my business is and how to map us and who to show us to when somebody is searching for something like Seekonk real estate. So now that we've got our Drupal site all ready and all the right longitudes, latitudes, addresses, all that stuff built into the site, it's time to go and set up our business on Google Local. Google has a new system that they've created called Google Places, and if you'll just go Google it, Google Places, you'll see this listing. And you can go here where it says Local Ad Business Center, and you can click there, and it'll give you a place where you can add your business. And it'll take you, you'll sign in with your Google account, and you'll click Add a New Business, and it's going to go and ask you for a lot of the same information that you've already entered on your Drupal site. Things like a description, categories, things like that. Now, since I'm doing just an example, a fake business, I'm not going to go fill this out. It's pretty self-explanatory, but you can go through and do it. Now, on the next screen, it's going to ask you for things like coupons, coupon codes, videos, photos of your business, slogans, things like that. So if you have any of that stuff, it's really a good idea to upload them and put them on your Google listing. Now, once you have a Google listing, it doesn't mean that you're automatically going to show up when somebody does that local search. But one of the ways that you can influence the Google listings to have you show up higher is to get your customers to review your business. And I can't stress the importance of that enough. The more people you have reviewing your business, the higher you will rank in the Google local listings. It's not a one-to-one thing. It doesn't necessarily mean the guy with the most reviews is going to be the top guy, but usually what we've noticed is that in Google's local listings, if you don't have any reviews, you probably won't show up on that front page. So make sure you get lots of reviews for your business. And bad reviews don't hurt you as much as you'd think. Having reviews is what's important. So that's local optimization. Just a reminder, local is not for everybody. If you have a national or international business and you're selling all over the place and you don't really get a lot of customers in your own backyard, Google Local and local optimization is not for you. But if you do have that local business and you do get a lot of business from your hometown, you need to do a local optimization campaign. Set up the HCard module. Make sure you turn on the extra meta tags and put your longitude and latitude in there. And go to Google and set yourself up there. It's critically important that you be found wherever people are looking for you and for your business. And don't forget, Google is not the only rodeo here. There's Bing has got a local search. Yahoo's got a local search. There's a number of other search engines that have local searches that you can go and list your business there. Another good idea is to search and see if there are any local business directories in your own hometown. You may pay $25 or $50 a year to be listed there, but those are all helpful things that let the search engines know that you really are very geographically centered. So look for those and get locally optimized. Headings are a critical part of your search engine optimization. As you remember, if we start at the top, we're looking at title tags, path, and the very next major piece of text that you have on your site is the heading. Usually that should be an H1, and in Drupal it really kind of depends on your theme whether they've used the H1 tags properly. An H1 tag, it's an HTML tag, there's the brackets and it says H1. And then you put your heading and then you close out the H1 tag. Very simple. But let's take a look. So here I'm logged in as the administrator. So I want to switch browsers. I'm going to go over here to Google Chrome and I want to view the source. And I'm going to do a quick find and find my H1 tag. Let's see what I've got here. Sure enough, I've got my Double Rainbow Real Estate, which is the name of my website, as my H1 tag. So I've got the word real estate in there, but really, you know, my key phrase is Seekonk, Massachusetts real estate. That's probably not ideal. So the way to change the name of my site is to switch back over to site configuration, site information, and I'll just change the name here to Double Rainbow Seekonk MA real estate. Great. Now I've got my keyword in my title, or in my H1 tag. Now this is kind of a long name of the site, and I might want to go back and reformat this using my CSS, and there's some great videos that teach you how to do that. We're not going to show you how to do that here. A little bit outside the scope, but still, getting that keyword in there I think is critically important to having the site show up in the search engines. Now another thing that's really important to a site is the next heading down, and that's called the H2 tag. So let's go back over to Chrome. I want to view the source again, and let's find, first of all, let's find if there's any more H1 tags. I don't think there's going to be. Nope, that's it, just the one. So now let's find H2. So I have an H2 here around user login. That's not a very good key phrase for the search engines. I wonder if H2s show up anywhere else on the page. Oh yeah, I do have some more H2s. This is around how to price Seekonk, Massachusetts real estate. Okay, that's pretty good. So what my site's doing is it's putting what this theme is, and this is the default theme that comes with Drupal, it's putting an H2 tag around each of my node titles here that's listed down the front page. And you know what? I'm okay with that. That's pretty good. You could also continue to go down and look for H3, H4, they go all the way up to H6. And basically what Google wants to see is kind of an outline format. So you have H1 at the top, you're going to have one of those, try to keep one of those per page. If you have several H2s, maybe down the page, and then if you have H3s, it should again be hierarchical so that you have the H3s and then back out to an H2. If you don't have it perfect, Google is not going to penalize you or anything like that. They're pretty smart and pretty fair about things, but ideally you want to have it in kind of a hierarchical way. So what you want to do for things like this that are put in an H2 and just doesn't carry keywords, you've got to go in and edit your theme and just take that out, or even turn off this block, which is what we'll eventually do for the site, is turn this block off so that you just hide that away completely. So headings are just another good way that you can organize the content on your site. It's a great way to communicate to Google what your main keywords are. We covered how to use just one H1, a few H2s, a few H3s, kind of keep things hierarchical. It's the best way to communicate, but they're not real strict about it. And really, if you have set up your theme properly, then you don't need to worry about H1s anymore. You want to set up your theme so that it's making the title of your site on your home page. That needs to be an H1. On subpages, really the most important thing on each subpage is, or on each node, is the title of the node. So this should be your H1 tag on each individual node, not the name of your site. So you want to set up your theme so that it'll do things in that way, because every page you go to, you can optimize for different keywords. So you want to make sure that that's the H1 there. And then if you want to use H2s and H3s further down the page, just remember to keep it hierarchical.